this video. The purpose of the video is to provide you with a resource to help increase class participation, increase mathematical discourse among students, and impact the students' learning through socialization. In this activity, students are going to be not only learning about the math, but discussing it with others in their classroom. Let's review a little bit about the total participation techniques. So total participation techniques give students that higher order thinking, where they're thinking in the higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy, and that high participation, which we know is so important in having the high engagement in the classroom. We want our students performing in quadrant 4 as much as possible. This is where the most learning occurs. So how do we implement bounce cards? If you look in the newsletter, along with this video, there are 2 linked documents that you can use in your classroom and copy as much as you need to. So we're going to introduce using the stems to our students. Some teaching and modeling may be required on your part, especially for the first few times you use them. You're going to provide the students with the cards with the stems. As they're talking to each other, students can choose from one of the 3 categories: bounce an idea off someone, sum it up, or inquire or ask a question. This really encourages discussion with their peers. Here are some of the stems you can use. So let's take a look at a teacher using these in a middle school math classroom.
What y'all are going to have an opportunity today to do is work a bunch of different problems out and then give each other feedback on it, because this is the last day you actually get practice with this in the classroom before we take a test like in a couple weeks. But whenever you interact with people, y'all are paired up today for a reason, because I didn't want too many people at a table. I wanted you to practice using some table talk. That's some of the strategies we use in this classroom. Our table talk, we sit at tables all the time in big groups. But you're going to use something called bounce cards today, and they don't look like playing cards. I couldn't find any actual bounce cards. Bounce cards are these little cards right here. And what they have on them are very respectful ways for you to interact with people that don't involve you telling them that they're stupid and they don't know what they're doing. When you use them, you're actually going to say things like, true, another example is when, or I like how you said, blah, blah, blah. They're really fun to use because it makes you sound like a real sophisticated adult. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a set amount of time to work without any talking. You're going to work independently. And I'll answer any questions you have before then. But then, once I call time, we're going to practice interacting with these bounce cards. And you can prove your partner's paper, and y'all can see if y'all agree or disagree. And if you don't agree, you're going to have to remember to use nice phrases like, I see what you're saying, but... Or what else can you say to say that you don't agree? Can you tell me more about that? I'm not sure I understand. Have you thought about? So that way you don't just tell them that they're wrong. Okay? Alright, and where do y'all agree?
I agree with you because...
Alright, awesome. So you feel like that's right. So explain why it's
for
so
CA,
yes.
you got to count that number thing that's behind it.
That's a great point.
Oh, so...
Yeah, I'm saying that because that is correct.
That's a great point.
You figure that out. Okay?
So how do bounce cards improve learning in the classroom? As you saw in the video, these students were beginning to have meaningful math discussions, collaborating and listening to each other. This promotes growth and confidence in the math classroom. Encouraging the discourse allows the teachers to monitor the students' dispositions, gauge their confidence, and their perseverance. It's also a great way for quick formative assessment as you're listening in. Bottom line, encourage students to talk about their responses with others using the question stems. Model having these discussions with students. It will take more than one time of using these in your classroom for your students to use them effectively. Balance cards are a great opportunity for quick assessment of students' understanding of concepts. Thinking of your students, how will you implement this in the classroom? What upcoming topics can you think of where this strategy would be a useful tool? Think about this on your own and discuss it with your PLT. As always, if you have any questions or need any assistance, we're here to help.